I personally feel like a way to secure this, in my mind, is to just be using these 4 queens to stay defensive, and then I would even just get a certain amount. Like, I wouldn't have made even more. 4 I think is perfectly fine. But I mean, 6 is super safe, so now you'll be fine for sure. I'd actually use those roaches, like if you get roach speed, maybe even get burrow, I would start using them right away to try and just stop his expansion. It's like, I guess now it's up, so I would actually wait until I get a bigger amount, maybe twice what you have, and then you could do like a timing +1 attack. You could even get that upgrade for it, and I would again recommend burrow, so you can hide them. Just, oh, you're getting it, you're way ahead, and then just do almost like a timing pressure, try and kill some drones, because I don't think he'll have that many drones or any army except for those mutas. So then just, you're getting those infestors, you're macroing behind this little push. Like, you'd get a certain amount of roaches, you attack with them, do what you can, and then you macro, and you should be ahead. That's what I would do. It looks similar to what you're planning, perhaps. Transfuse it, transfuse it! Yes! Live, Overlord, live! You could even bring those queens if you wanted. I think that's a pretty good idea too.
Mineral field depleted.
Let's just go attack with the queens. That's a good idea.
Metamorphosis complete.
Keep rallying those roaches, and I'd be making 2 more queens at your main and your natural, again, just to help out a little bit more. You don't want to watch your queens. Alright. Looks like his mutas are going back. You can engage with your roaches right now if you wanted to. He has roaches too, so the question. You might want to run back, or you might want to keep engaging. It's up to you. Alright, now you want to run back. Alright. So now you want to get some transfuses off on those roaches, and you have that infestor. Doesn't quite have enough energy. Nice, you have burrow. Well done. Supply blocking him, I'm sure. And just, like, we're kind of missing spitting a little bit, but that's okay. Need to be transfusing like crazy here if you can. It's pretty difficult. Now you could almost, yeah. Looks like he has an overseer though.
Control fail.
It's okay. Now you just want to rally them all to your natural. Keep going with infestors. You're actually still in an okay position. We are losing a lot though, but that's okay. We want to make sure we aren't rallying the overlords too far there. I would still just make.
I feel very sad.
You want to have a few guys on gas as well at your natural. Need to be using all those roaches. We have the upgrade advantage still. I really think you should try and keep that if you can. Get the next plus upgrade on that, and just put some guys on gas at your natural, and just keep making maybe a few more drones there, as well as try and pull your overlords back or throw them to random places. We have a bunch of them, but we don't want to lose too many, but it's okay. And then just maybe making a few infestors, or just at least one infestor to deal with those mutas properly. Then you could even try and take that gold. I wouldn't recommend attacking here though. Because of those mutas, we have no way to kill them, and they would be really detrimental. Alright. So then you can just, rally whatever you want to those rocks or whatnot. Because he's going to send those mutas over there. You could even leave one queen or whatever you wanted to over there. But at this point, you're doing okay. If we take that third, we're not that far behind, I would imagine. We have that infestor. Has fungal ready to go if we see those mutas, which we do. So you could engage that with that if you wanted to. That's okay. Didn't quite get to. I'd use those lings you made, which is a good choice. You always want to have lings to check out what's going on, see if they have the gold, see if they have a fourth anywhere. And then just, I'd still make, maybe even ling an infestor again, and then just take that third. We have 2 infestors, so that's actually a good amount. Maybe just pure roaches here and taking that third, I think, would be optimum. I like how you're just coming around from back with those lings. I feel like you're kind of risking it. You want to watch your infestors. Nicely done. You can get a few more fungals if you wanted to. Well done. Well done. Nice! That killed, like, everything, by the way. So perfect. Now you just need to roach up and defend here. Maybe even throw down an infestor. Just defend, macro up. You can even get that +1 armor after this. You can even long distance mine with the drones in your main, because they're not really doing anything for you. You only have 3 extra, though, so it's not bad. It's pretty good. And you have the minerals. We could take that fourth, just like what you're doing, just perfect. Doing great, man. Doing great.
At what point do I want to start thinking about tier 3?
Never?
Never.
Nope. At least not until a long time, until we have like 2/2 upgrades on these units. I would even worry about getting that +1 carapace right now. You could, okay, so he has infestors of his own here. It's a good choice by him, and he still has that 1 meter doing damage. Okay. So we want to get a couple more infestors of our own here, and a few lings to kind of try and prevent an expansion. Also, if we get lings, we want to put a few on the towers. Because we don't want to get caught off guard by those infestors. I'd even recommend making an overseer of our own. If you have one actually up the top mid, you can use that to contaminate both hatches if you wanted to. And then you want to take a lot of the drones from your natural and send them to that gold. And
oh my god.
it's fine, we got it. Again, I'd recommend just putting a few lings on a tower though, and watch out your natural,
Okay, can I just go attack and win?
You can try it. Just make sure you have all your hatches rallied, and just keep making roaches. So you want to, yep, perfect. I would throw your fungals here and throw down a bunch of infested Terrans. If you have the energy, just throw all you can. It's hugely important. Make sure you have their units rallied. You don't want them at the natural or anywhere. So good game. Yay!
Yeah. That was a little stressful.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Breath.
Relax. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out.
Alright, cool. I felt ahead that whole game. The whole game I felt ahead, and I just felt like I couldn't go win, and it was really frustrating. But, hey, we pulled it out, so. Happy
Indeed.
face.
Indeed.
I attribute all of it to my coach, Coach Sheth, the man. That
Thanks.
game was pretty long, so I think we're going to just jump right into some questions if you're cool, Sheth.
Perfectly fine with me.
Well, if it's perfectly fine with you, it's perfectly fine with me. Let me first thank Aquanda for the games. Which one is he? There he is.
Yep, tell him thanks for me too. Very good games.
Sheth says thanks too. Alright, cool. Alright. Questions for Sheth. Now, as I'm pulling these up, I am going to ask one. I think I asked it last time, but I'm going to ask it again anyway. How do you feel about ZvT with lots of infestors and not so many mutas?
With more infestors and not so many mutas, it's viable. Takes a lot of APM. How much APM, Sheth? More APM than I have, but I'm working on it. You gotta be able to split your army at a hair's notice to deal with dropships, to deal with 2 dropships and an attack, to deal with 2 dropships, Hellions, a Banshee, and an attack. Not to mention they're dropping your cliff, which you didn't know you had on this weird map. It just takes a lot of APM to split it up to be able to catch things. But I think infestors will become more used in ZvT, and I think even if you do make a bunch of mutas, you want a couple infestors with it.
Awesome. I totally agree. I've been making so many infestors in ZvT, and I've been having so much more success than when I was just going Mutaling Bane. And I'm scratching my head saying, why doesn't this work at the higher level? So, anyways, on to user questions, or viewer questions, I should say. Dear Sheth, do you ever try to prune your opponent's army down a bit? Not necessarily going in for a kill, but thinking, I want to get rid of some of these lings before his speed kicks in, or trading before other key tech investments pay off, stuff like roach pressure a little before a spire finishes.
I do a ton of that in ZvP. ZvP I expect to just constantly be pruning their army down. I try and get like a 180 army and then attack no matter what's going on, because I can't let them get to that 200 death ball. So even if I lose most of my army there, as long as I killed, say, half of theirs, I feel it's a good investment, as long as I have like 3 hatcheries and they only have 2 Nexi. So that's one option where I do that. ZvT I don't think you can prune that well. In ZvZ, it's difficult. It's really difficult to do that. I generally don't, because infestors can catch you, counters can catch you, zerglings can catch you. It's very difficult. And there are times you do it, but it's difficult.
Cool. Thank you. In ZvP, you said you do it a lot in ZvP. Ha. Man, I'm so mature.
That's okay.
You said that you do try to make good trades with a Protoss player, often in ZvP. This isn't a question that you can necessarily answer with I don't know, but there's so much of ZvP revolves around good timings. Making a Roach Hydra push before Colossi, or having Spire done before he has too many Colossi, or you know what I mean?
I do.
Do you have any sort of maybe benchmarks you can give us for when we need to try and take a poke at a Protoss player?
If you ever get to 200 with your army and you do not have tier 3 units or are attacking, you are failing. You must not get to 200 unless you are attacking or you have Ultralisks or Broodlords in your army composition, or in Corruptors and Broodlords or whatever. But that's one main thing that I would say. The other thing, just to go along with more of what your question was, for the life of me, I can't remember now that I made that other statement, which actually didn't answer your question that well. So what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Do you have any sort of benchmarks, indicators, timings that you just love that sort of tell us when to attack?
I wish there was such a thing.
I mean, like for example, when Burrow finishes, that you have map control until he has observers. So that's one of the timings where I'll always go take a poke. Just anything like that.
Yep, if they 4-gate and it fails, I'll poke. I'll usually macro a little bit and then poke. If they do a 6-gate and it fails, I will try and counter poke it. If I can manage to hold off basically any cheese, I will poke. If I see they're going Void Rays from one base and they're trying to take a quick, fast expansion, I'll make a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah.
And do that. If I see them, let's see what other things. Expanding before they have enough sentries, every once in a while I'll try and attack with Zerglings. If I see someone being really just doing like a Nexus first, then cannons to be defensive, every once in a while I'll do like a Baneling bust or just a whole bunch of Zerglings early to try and run through or just to attack. Those are just simple ones, I guess you could say.
Sounds like a question that warrants a completely separate show. Maybe in a week or two. Alright, moving on. Sheth, are you wearing your cowboy hat?
Ah, my cowboy hat. I'm not wearing it at the moment, but I do love my cowboy hat, indeed. wore it to a LAN. Told people I was dance for Plox. They never knew I was chosen. Till like the end, and then sadly, I'm not even gonna not even going to go anymore, but
Oh,
suffice it
shit.
to say I made some kids very sad.